If you've watched the previous videos, you know we've just made it through the Order of the Raven building and got the Murder of Crows vigor. As you can see here, a little hint back to previous Bioshocks with a pipe wrench on the ground. We just fought the what I assume was the quote-unquote High Zealot you saw in one of the Voxophone diaries, and gotten the Murder of Crows from his body. And we continue making our escape. Some medical supplies and some money here if you want that. And not much stuff on this barge except this binoculars. If you want to get that achievement, make sure you get this one on the barge as you come out of the building. You see it shows up there in the top right corner. Some supplies here in the boxes. You can't go in here, so just drop down here if you want to pick up some supplies. But other than that, you can just keep moving. Again, there's some stuff in here, but nothing absolutely critical to getting through this area. Some money and some food. So in the downstairs area, there's a woman talking to the Columbia police about basically how she spotted you.
Were bigger than that. Squinty.
Okay, miss, can you recall his hair color?
It was red and curly. He looked Irish to me. Yes, like that.
Okay, what about his temper?
Oh, he was
Oh, I know.
That's a close likeness.
Hi. Surprise, bitches. That didn't work out so well for the detectives there. Just a note, if you're playing this on 1999 mode, this little visit in here, aside from the comic relief value, might actually be a bit counterproductive because there's not that much stuff in here, and like fighting those 3 or 4 police officers and that last guy, it might actually cost you so much health and vigors that it's not worth it. So watch out if you're going in here on the harder difficulty modes. So with that being said, we'll head outside again and use those cargo hooks to continue our way to Monument Island. Do a Skyline strike on this guy. Some provisions here, mostly just money. Again, some ammo and health supplies if you need it. And that's pretty much it in this area. So if you sure want to move on, click on the doors and get out of there. The gateway is a bit of a fight. Just make sure you are stocked up on salts and health. There's you can buy in these machines conveniently, obviously. There's about I think maybe 6-7 police officers on the other side, as well as 1 or 2. I think maybe 2 turrets. I'm not sure, but. Obviously, a good way to get through the area, especially if you're on the especially if you're not on hard or 1999, in which you may at this point not have enough money, depending on how many times you die to get salts and supplies. A good way to get rid of them is by using possess on the turrets and let the turrets take care of your enemies instead. Probably won't kill them all, especially not on 1999, but it will do enough damage for them to get distracted, and you can probably pick off a few stragglers on your own, which will help you a lot. On normal, it's a pretty decent fight, nothing too taxing. I didn't realize this during this playthrough, but you can, and the game even tells you, but you can use, by holding Q for longer, you can actually open a pop-up menu to quickly cycle through your vigors. One thing that's always been the case with Bioshock games is that combat doesn't feel that great. Well, at least if combat doesn't feel that great if you're using guns, because especially in this one you need, like, people, especially console players who have gotten used to the Call of Duty model of like pressing left trigger will pop up your your aim down sights mode, and pressing right button will shoot. And here that isn't the case. Like, pressing the right mouse button does not give you aim down sights. You need to press Z. It's a bit uncomfortable. Like the guns don't feel that great. Obviously, they have a great impact on when you're shooting, because they do put out enough damage. Obviously, they got that right, but like handling them does not feel that good. Obviously, that's not the point of Bioshock games, but for games where you do need to use combat to get around, it's like they should have improved on that by now, given that they've had so much time to actually do so over the development of this game since what was it, 2007, 2008? Because I assume they helped 2K Marin. Was it 2K Marin? What? They helped out on Bioshock 2, but they didn't involve themselves too much with it because they were working on this. So they've had like a number of years to get all of these things refined. So in a sense, I'm disappointed that they didn't refine combat more than just the combination of powers or magic and firearms. Because obviously the vigors are cool, but the guns are still a bit lacking. They're not as crazy as the first Bioshock either, which in a sense is a good thing, because it makes you feel more like this is something that could actually be possible outside of the crazy floating city stuff. It feels like a very grounded universe. So scavenge some stuff from around this area. There's all kinds of, like, during the entire game, there's all kinds of these areas like this where you can find supplies and money, and sometimes even upgrades and salt replenishments. Vigors are, like, as I said before, vigors are very, very expensive, so at this point you probably don't have enough money to buy an upgrade. Don't worry about that, like, that'll come later on in the game. As you progress it, like, you decreasingly have a need for money, because you'll just have more than enough.
You've got to go. Workmen should proceed to the island by means of the Skyline.
Skylines, huh? Those things them coppers came riding in on back then.
So this is our introduction to the Skyline mechanic. really gives you an idea of how expansive Colombia really is. Even though you can't really visit most of this, and I bet it's not an accurate model of the city that reflects like the areas we went through prior to getting here, but it does give you the impression that Irrational really thought about making this a really tangible place instead of just a city under the sea that was, when you look at it, just a collection of connected rooms.
Perfect.
Because you never really saw never really saw Rapture from the outside, whereas you do in Colombia. You really get a feel that it is an actual city instead of just some combat arenas.
And the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great, and he repented he had made man on the earth. Rain. 40 days and 40 nights of the stuff, and he left not a thing that walked alive. You see, my friends, even God is entitled to a do-over. And what is Columbia if not another ark? For another time.
Let's take care of these guys. It's hard to aim down sights when you're on the barge because it does move around like you see, so you have to compensate for the movement. It's actually probably easier just using Vigors because especially Devil's Kiss has quite a bit of splash area.
There's another skyline up above. Somehow get some elevation, I could probably reach it.
So what you need to do here, there's a cargo hook up on the balcony of the house we just passed. You need to hook up to there, swing across to the far balcony where those cops were just shooting at us from, and then you can use the you can pass through that house and get to the other side of the skyline and reattach there. So that's the cargo hook we need to get through to pick up some stuff here. Swing across. Take care of these guys. Pick up some cash. Always make sure you look behind stuff like this, like the dressers, strewn around rooms, because you might find some power-ups. Off with his head. So once we're through that area, I just reattach to the skyline and keep moving forward, basically, and no real explanation required as to get how you need to get through this area. Just keep hooking up to the skyline, and eventually you'll get to where you need to go. Not quite sure what these guys are shooting at.
Stand down! Stand down!
He who crossed the Delaware with flaming sword and the wings of angels. Father Washington.
You could probably shoot them, but I wasn't enough of a dick to actually do that.
I know why you've come, false shepherd. I see every sin that blackens your soul. Wounded knee, the Pinkertons, the drink, the gambling, and of course, Anna. And now, to repay a debt, you've come from my land.
So we'll find out later on in the game. This Anna plays into the story in a very important way. So this is not the right time to reveal that yet. So I'll shut up about it.
As blood as yours.
We'll discover that as the game goes along.
Why these men will die for me? Because I have seen their future in the glory.
Just turn on the subtitles here so we can actually follow what he's saying a bit better. Subtitles are under audio. You can actually also turn on subtitling for in-game artworks and stuff like that. And I think that's under gameplay.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. This will end in blood. Then again, it always does with you, doesn't it? It always ends in blood.
Jesus.
So after we had that inspiring speech from Comstock, we need to get into his airship.
But thy crook is bent and thy path is twisted. Go back to the sorrow from which you came.
And we do that by obviously, since this is still a Bioshock game, fighting and figuring our game into figuring our way into the main control room.
Shit. Gotta find the controls to take this thing to Monument Island.
You cannot actually shoot that woman, which is important in the sense of what is going to happen in just a few seconds. But you can't shoot that woman. There's no way to prevent what is going to happen.
Okay, I'm sure I can get this thing going.
The Lord forgives everything. But I'm just a prophet.
I was half expecting him to kick the mic over the edge and just walk away.
Amen.
So yeah, you might have guessed we need to get the hell out of here, which we'll do in true Infinite fashion by jumping out and grabbing this Skyline just in time. So that was that. See you guys in the next video.